Coffee away. All right, here. Doc from North America having a sip of my coffee. It's Friday. Thank goodness it is, too. We're looking forward to that. Let's see where we go here. We go like that and go like that. And there it is. There is the Swiss. Let's see how that looks. Looks pretty good. Okay, right there. There we go. And let's get the fact check spreadsheet up, like so. Looks like crude oil might have slipped into a sell last night. I think it did. I think I have the line on it. We'll have to go check that. And let's see about the fact check spreadsheet. It's been a quiet 2 days. I mean, we got some activity with Daniel and George and so forth, but it was kind of relatively quiet, I guess you could say. Let's see. Let's go there, and now I can see the fact check spreadsheet. Let's see. Yep. Okay. Quiet again. Not too bad. Get everybody rolling along. It is TGIF. Thank goodness it's Friday. Looking forward to that. Now let's jump over to, again, the currencies, and you can see there up on the Chicago quant chart, you see it's moving up. I mean, the dollar is strong. The auction was ugly yesterday, the 7-year. We talked about that. Remember, traders, at one time, bond auctions, CPI, consumer price indexes, labor numbers, GDP, all had a great effect on currencies. Now it's more in the QE era. It's a different animal altogether. Fundamentals get pushed to the side. Everything becomes relative. In other words, oh, look at GDP. It jumped this, and it may not be a good number, but if it's what everybody's looking for, in other words, what would be considered a good number is obviously gross domestic product rising in value. But if everybody was expecting a lower number, the markets may lift just because it was a lower number because they were expecting it. If they weren't expecting it, that's when they get a little crazy. Alas, how are you? Oh, I'm looking. I didn't have my coffee. I just made it just now before the webinar. I got tangled up in some stuff, and here I am trying to sip my coffee and talk at the same time. But I'm doing fine. I hope you're doing well. We're looking here at the Swiss franc against the dollar, and you can see it's rising here. And then let's put it up on J4X. And you can see we've been playing around. Also, we've added a combination here with the MACD. We have some traders that like to look at both. And now, we've put that up on the MACD on the Chicago quant at the same time. Let's see, where am I heading for? Oh, yeah, dollar Swiss right there. There's dollar Swiss. And so we're in the 94s, and we've been at weekly buy. Where is it at? On fact check spreadsheet, line 21. 10 full weeks in a buy, 3 days in a buy. Zoom to the moon, Alice. It just keeps on lifting. Now, you can see here on the Chicago quant, it's trying to roll over a little bit. We've gotten a down arrow going on there. But notice it's still well above its time manifold. As a matter of fact, we can widen that just to emphasize that a little bit better, like so, like that. There we are. You can see that it still has to go through the time manifold itself, that nonlinear time manifold. We'll see what it does there. But more than likely, the bond auction ignited things. The GDP was very positive. There was a lot of good numbers. So we talked about this the last couple of days, about the dollar. I think I started the week off rambling about the dollar is a firm product, and it doesn't show any signs for any reason why it would want to go down. See, you can have the media say certain things, and the media, in other words, it may have the general media or the propaganda or whatever you want to call it nowadays, does its thing. It says what it's trying to do, and it shows you their attitude about something, whatever it is. It's children at the border or the Olympics or whatever it is. It doesn't matter. And they all the whole media organizations across the planet basically sing almost the same song all the time. They say the same. They're on the same side of the story. So in the United States here, we have it where the media is controlled by six corporations, and the six corporations are all connected to the Democrat Party. So we don't really see a lot. Fox News is now owned by Disney, so that's part of that corporation thing. But Fox Network is still part of the Murdoch network, or structure. So you don't see the news anymore from Murdoch being that. It's kind of sloppy, and that's why their ratings have dropped dramatically, because they're just saying the same things now as the rest of the networks. So anyway, you take that, okay, and when the media is against capitalism and growth and all that other stuff, supposedly, that doesn't work as well. In other words, you might see it against a stock. Some company has done something, and people have gotten frustrated with it, and or the media hates the company, whatever it is. No, it doesn't matter what reason it is. They just do. It's politically against their attitude or whatever. No matter what decision it's going on, it's not being reflected favorably. Okay, my point here is that what you'll see is if it's not real, in other words, if it's just spin, which most of the time the media is, it won't have an effect on the corporation, because profits always are ahead of the spin. Now, if they can kill sales, the media can kill sales in a particular product that company is selling, then there may be a problem. But if they're just saying horrible things about the chairman or the chairwoman, or they're just saying all kinds of exotic things that allegedly make the company look bad, but they can't hurt the sales. There's the income from it. The stock price will still reflect the income, not the spin from the media. And so what you're seeing here now, the logic out of this whole thing is that you have a lot of people who want the dollar. But what I'm trying to make a point about is they want the dollar to go down. A lot of different places in the world want the dollar to go down. The Chinese want it to be gone altogether. The Russian Federation probably is probably mixed. They're more capitalistic, and they probably don't really talk it down as much. I don't see them talking it down as much. And then you see every so often in the media, you see different people saying, maybe it's a bubble, maybe the dollar's just too high, that type of thing. But we've described this over the last couple of weeks in particular about this is not the normal market of old that everybody reads books about and tries to learn how to trade from. This is the quantitative easing era now. We're in the QE. Just like I said this, I think it was on Wednesday. I said there's BCE era, there's AD era, and in the financial world, we're in the QE era, right? New York Stock Exchange is owned by a futures exchange now. The Dow Jones Industrial Average has 6 NASDAQ stocks in it. So there's a whole different era. It's just a whole different era. And with it comes new ways to trade. That's what I'm trying to emphasize more than anything else, is that anybody out there trying to learn to trade, the best thing you can do is get rid of anybody who wants to tell you about 2008 and earlier. Okay? Those days are gone. They don't exist. All right? The only thing that exists before 2008 that has any relevancy right now, and will have relevancy now for the rest of financial existence, and is that the listed options are now a fixture in the financial world. They've brought the volatility to the marketplace starting in 1976. And that's when the volatility expanded. It removed the zero-sum factor. And now in quantitative era, you can forget about all this reactive trading that you hear about. There's no reactive trading. None of us are reactive traders anymore. We're all proactive traders. And so when I am going on that little diatribe about the media and trying to understand what they're saying, is it real? Does it have an effect on currencies or stocks or any of that other stuff? It really doesn't anymore unless they can interfere in the whole thing. That's exactly what's going on here. So Um, that's we're in a whole new era. It's the quantitative era, and as far as I can tell, there's no reason why it's going to go away. It's not going to go away. Uh, not it. We'll see the signs if we're going to see it go away. But you have to remember what makes part of that quantitative easing era is the fact that Lloyd's of London is owned by the Exchequer. Citibank in the United States is owned by the Federal Reserve. Merrill Lynch is owned by B of A. Bear Stearns is owned by J.P. Morgan. In other words, I can go on, Santander, so forth and so on. In other words, Deutsche Bank, owned by the German central bank. It just goes on. In other words, all these companies are gone. They're now being propped up. And so the quantitative era, when we look at currency trading and all trading, is a different, there is different motivation for the products to go up or down compared to the old days where it was supply and demand. In other words, you had more buyers, things went up. You had more sellers, things went down. It was pretty simple concept. And what drove those things a lot of times was fundamentals. GDP, interest rates, employment, inflation, all the fundamentals. And so now we're in a different era. The quantitative era is central banks keeping different entities, I guess you could say, or different products stable. That's what they're after now. Constant stability. All right, that's what it's all about there. Now let's go drift again into looking at the products themselves and traders. Oh, wow, look at that. I got a lot of questions here. Cool. Elise Lee says, how about the AUD dollar? How is the prospect of it this week? Let's take a look and see. I think it went into first of all, on line, what is that, line 12, right? It went into a weekly sell last week right there. So we've been 1 week in a sell, 5 days in a sell. But I wanted to get that out. I've been projecting that situation now for a couple of weeks, and I want to get that out and document it. So I think we'll even label this as the QE era. And you can see here on our Chicago Quant chart, and let's widen that out just to emphasize it for less. And you can see there, we went into the weekly sell here, right there, and we went into a daily sell there also at the same time. And you can see it's doing its thing. It's going down. It looks like it's going to at least take another week to get it to go back into a buy. Now, here's the fascinating thing right there. You can see the daily is trying to lift up today. We're seeing some strength in that. So we'll see if that. Let's give it a refresh also at the same time. But this thing by the end of the day, if they move a little bit higher, or by Monday, could find ourselves back into a daily buy in here, and that would put us into the neutral. But you've already had your winner chicken dinner. We went to the weekly sell and a daily sell, and they knocked the product down pretty well there. There's that. Okay, now let's see. BZ, hey BZ, good morning to you. Good afternoon and good evening. Happy TGAF to you too. Let's see. What else we got here? We got Juan. Hey Juan. Let's see what's going on now. Hi, greets from Mexico. Hey, que pasa? Your president is doing a fine job. We've been following the Mexican peso a lot. He is really, I didn't expect as much out of him when he got elected, but he seems to be doing some, solid stuff there. Very impressive. We'll trade you if you want. You can have Biden. We'll take him. He doesn't need the cheat sheets. I don't know if any of you saw the stuff that Biden was doing yesterday. He did his news conference, but he had a cheat sheet. And he had cards he was reading from. Wow, freaky stuff, huh? Let's see now. Juan says, and happy PIPS. Oh, okay, great. What else have we got going on here? Russell 2. You would like to see the Russell 2000? Sure. Let's take a look at that. And George, I see you there down at the bottom now. Doc was on his. Oh, you know what, George? It looked like I didn't. The charts didn't get the seller to buy her. I'm not sure. One of them was in it. We'll take a look at it in a few seconds here. Let's go over to right there, and let's go look at the Russell 2000. There's the Russell 2000. Let's give it a refresh. I've been watching it meander, it's not as much. And I can give you a. We can show you. Uh, I'm calling you Juan Lincoln Salinas, but I like Juan. That's easy. So we'll go with. We can go with Salinas. How do we go with Salinas? Salinas. Here it is, right here. Here's the Russell 2000. It's the June futures contract. You can see we've been in a daily sell since around here somewhere. I guess it's that one right there. We went into the daily sell there. It's been in the sell since. We went into the weekly buy, so it's been a neutral in the sense of you can't be long and you can't be short. It's been going down. If you're day trading this thing with options, it's one thing. Or you're you're trading it, positioning it with options, it's one thing. If you're going to fool with one that's in a weekly buy and a daily sell. Now in this case here, you can see it's getting very close. Let's widen this. It's getting very close to going into a weekly sell. And this morning, where are we at there? Let's move that up a little bit like so. Robin asked me to put these lines in there like that so you can see it. But it looks like to me, what is that? Is that minus 2116? I think that's what it is, isn't it? So plot 1 is minus 2116. Let's see what we're reading here. We're reading, this is a gas 3-5 super. So that means that one of them is a 3 and the other one is a 5. Whereas up here on the daily, we're running a gas 3. And the gas 3, you can see, is they're both, the green line and the white is plot 1 and 4. So let's just double click on this and take a look and see at the style. The histogram is the 5, and the green line is the 3. That's what's going on there. Okay. All right. So the green line is the 3. It went into the sell last week, but we were waiting for the histogram to break down. In this case here, this thing needs a little bit more stretched out. In other words, imagine if this would be the buy. If you're and the thing is, when you follow this, what a gas 3 and 5 is doing is it's giving you 2 gas lines to give you a flavor of what's going on. Sometimes some of these products have a beta that instigates that to be needed. And so in other words, if you're let's just give you a good example like that. Okay, so in this case here, it's the weekly buy. You know, it went in the weekly buy here, and it stays in there all the way across. It gives you a little warning about some of the pressure from the plot. What was it? Which one was the plot 3? Okay, so the plot 3 is the green line. Okay, good. All right, so the plot 5 drops, but the plot 3 does not. So it stays in its weekly buy. You can take the buy signals. That's what that's telling you right there. Okay, now the plot 3 goes into a minus. And let's see, can we see there? It goes, okay, so it goes into a daily sell here and a weekly sell here. You're in a daily sell, you can take that trade. Then it comes back into it. Notice the 3 jumps ahead of the 5, the histogram. The histogram is the 5, okay? And we usually wait for a coordinated indication to get long. So in other words, it wasn't until here that you could get long, all right? And it was a winner, chicken dinner. Now, it goes into the daily sell. The histogram closes last week, not in a plus, all right, but the gas line 3 goes into the sell, and we get sometimes in this particular product, because of its beta, that's the frequency of its movement. It's like a volatility indication, and so that's sometimes we use a gas 3-5 to smooth it out more. In this case here, didn't help too much, but you would have, if you pay attention to our rules, you'll know that the plot 3 is in the gas line on the weekly fell into the sell here last week. Okay, and so you can try to take the daily sells a little bit more aggressively, but we're really waiting for this to break down. Now we are at the moment in time where it's Friday, and it looks like plot 5 is now also breaking down right here. Oh, let's try that again. Right there. Okay, I hope that's explanatory there, Salinas. And so that's where we are. It's trying to break down. You can see as we're trying to break down today in particular, after 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days in a sell, it's playing around with the daily buy today. We've got, as a matter of fact, we even got a volatility signal with a red and a green dot going on, just like a red and a green dot here. And the last time, same thing here, a red green dot and a buy signal. There was strength. At the same time, this may jump back up today if we get some strength out of it. Okay. Now there's George. George, let's see what's going on for you. Let's jump over to crude oil, because I think I saw something about that. Oh, yes. Crude, no, I guess, I'm not sure. Let's see. Where is it on the fact check spreadsheet? Crude oil is, 1 day in a sell. It's climbing back into the daily buy again. And at the same time, look at the weekly. We'll widen that a little bit more for you right there. And you can see it's hanging on by the hair of its chinny chin. It's staying in the weekly. And what's it now? We're looking at line 5 on the fact check spreadsheet. We're looking at a oil that's been 17 weeks in a weekly buy, just 1 day in a daily sell at the moment. And let's scrunch this up on our mathematics so you can see it even better. So we've been in a weekly buy since all the way back here in 11/27, which is November 27th. So it looked like it was trying to go after the sell. You know, we've had some really strange activity in the product, and then sure enough, it has turned around and started to add some juice back into it again. Interesting. I think at one point in the beginning of this week, we might have been underneath. I want to say we might have been. You can go and check. I can go. No, let's see. I guess what we could do is you go check some of the videos from the beginning of the week, and you might see that when we look at the chart. But it seems like it's fought its way back up again. George says, Doc, crude is back in a buy on the daily on my morning quant, and it's up this morning near 60. Yeah, I was a little surprised the way they took it down yesterday. I mean, let's widen this out. I thought the action in it was really tenacious. I mean, just wild. Matter of fact, you can see here there's a triangle developing. You got a triangle forming here, or you could say the triangle starts here, and then you could say there's another inside triangle there. I mean, you got the R.N. Elliott W.D. Gann triangle of 7. Let's see, where is that at? If we go like, I guess what it'd be is that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe a 6, and then a 7. If it breaks the 7, you know, it takes off on the upside. We're holding up on the weekly buy right there. You know, I'm a little leery about being bearish on the product. You know, I mean, you know, we're obviously 17 weeks in a buy. It's what they would refer to as long in the tooth. You know, being in a daily buy this morning means a person could go long this morning since it's in a weekly buy. Correct. That's right. But look at it now. You would rather try to buy down at the lows than buy up here. You would like that. In other words, you want to back and fill. And this is my suggestion. Okay, if you're really hungry to trade this thing intraday, or you know, not intraday, but get long it, it's more of a binary or an option trade at the moment because how high it is. Because the one thing you don't want to do is buy it here, get stopped out in the middle of this candle, you know, this bar there, and then watch it close higher at the end of the day. So it's more of an option trade at the moment before a hard delta trade of just being long the futures or, you know, the spot or whatever you trade. And so that's pretty much what the chart is telling us is that, yeah, last night, you know, if you're looking at the charts last night, you know, at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, and you saw this action, you would try to buy into the wherever it was at the time. Matter of fact, why don't we do this? Let's just for the fun of it. Let's go take a look at it on a short-term basis. You know what? Let's do it through the J4X, and we'll take a look at the two tools combining against each other, and seeing how it acts with it. And we'll put it in there as like an hourly chart or something like that. Let's see, where's it at? Right, light crude. There it is, like that. I don't even understand why North Sea was going down from that situation in the Suez Canal. It's been a little confusing to me on that, but I guess, you know, it is what it is. All right, so let's do a 30-minute and see what it looks like there. This will be very interesting. I wonder if Daniel's around. Daniel will see this. This will be kind of cool to see this on a shorter term basis. All right, so let's see. What time was it? There is. I guess that's. Let's see if we can figure this out. There is the 25th all the way up to. I think it's 22 GMT is the close. All right, so pretty much the first couple hours of trading last night, and it started right off and started climbing, and you can see here. Let's widen this a little bit, and then you can see it wasn't a buy there. It goes into this sell thing here for this. This who the guys, the people who are following this MACD there, that is. I'm not reading it on a short-term basis too well there, but you can see here, and now it's trying to get into a buy again, goes into a sell, so forth. It looks like, let's see, it looks like in the 59.60s area. Maybe you want to try to grab some in there on a harder delta, but it's an options trade until it's confirmed, as far as I'm concerned. So that's the action. Does that help you out at all, George? If it would break down into the 59.60s, let's look at it in my work. Let me go there, see if I can put a shorter term trade chart on there. What do we got there? There's the euro. I know we look at the euro in that fashion. Let's go like that and make a copy of that. Copy and then paste, and then let's put crude oil in there. And that's a 30 minutes on our math. Okay, yeah. So instrument, futures, Charlie Larry. There we are. May. We're following the May contract, I believe, at the moment. There we are. There we go. It's filling in now. See what I did with J4X, Daniel? You want to give us your interpretation of that? Let's give this a refresh. There we go. Okay. And we're just going to show George real quick. Here's the 30-minute on our math. So you see here it goes into the buy there. This is where was it? This is this is last night. Goes into the buy there, and then it breaks down a little bit, hits the time manifold, goes into the minus. There's the minus right there. I guess is that the close or that one? I guess it's that one right there. And then literally 2 bars later, it's telling you to be long, so you've taken it in the chin there. It's a loser, whereas this was the big winner right there. And then another ride north. Ooh, right into the old sunset. Nice. Big winny. And then it goes into a sell. Where does it go into the sell? It goes into the sell right there. Breaks down, so it makes a nice little win if you're short-term trading it. And then it explodes back up again, and we're back into the buy again. I'd imagine, anywhere between the 50s and the evens. 59 evens to 59.50 would be, some buying opportunity, as long as we, as the weeklies and the dailies stay the way they are. All right, now for you, Daniel, you want to try to interpret that? How's that look? We can't see the quant chart. Now you can. So you just saw that. Now, how do you interpret this? Let's give you some room on this one. What do we do? I'll grab this and go like that. There we are. See how this is going? This is a 30-minute on this. Let's see. I guess that must be like yesterday afternoon, and that's last night, and that's this is GMT, I guess that's what that is. So that's like the London Open at 2 a.m. here, and then 4 hours before that, that's like 10 o'clock at night. That's the Asian hours, and then I guess right here is the same thing there. How about now? You see it all? Let's see which one. Let me just see how much of a lag I have going on here. I'm raising my volume up. Okay, so it's only like a 6-7 second lag. Let's see. At Asian hours crude pumped. Yeah, pumped. Yeah, exactly. I understand the Chinese are buying tons of oil. How do you like? Does that make sense to you? Did you say that the your histogram MACD works kind of okay in the short term? This is a half hour. Which one do you use? I just threw a 30-minute up there. Do you use like an hour on it or 3 minutes or what time frame do you use on would you use for this for the interday? Would it be a 2 hour? Would it be you know? And we can change it to what you're watching, and then maybe you can give us an interpretation of your MACD concept. I got a good idea on the daily reading it, but it gets a little sloppy in here with combining the two together. I guess this is all bullish here, right? Because this is but this is dropping, and you said you watched the histogram if it goes minus more than anything else, right? 30-minute, 3 hour, 4 hour. Okay, let's see what a 4 hour looks like too. I think it has 4 hour in here, right? There it is. Yeah, see, it goes into the buy there and doesn't let go. As a matter of fact, isn't this like a bullish signal right here for you too? How this thing goes down and then climbs back up again? But didn't go minus at the same time? It stayed just plus by the hair of its hair. Oh, wait a minute. Did it go minus? It did go minus, right? Once. And then it goes back into the plus? Is that it? Is that the... Which one is this? And what's that? That's all plus, right? Let me put my glasses on for this. They're all minuses. MACD minus 1629. What am I looking at that's I got wrong here? Why isn't that... I guess, are we looking at MACD history? So that's a plus, that's a plus, that's a minus. Okay, and that's a plus again. All right, so the histogram is the bottom one, that the history. Okay, so Daniel says MACD, I look at it in passing through from negative to positive. Right, that's what I got out of your rules concept. I rarely watch the histogram. I focus mostly on the MACD lines. Okay, so in this case here, what did they do? They kissed each other at one point? Is it important that the MACD lines are plus or minus? So in other words, I guess these are minus, right? And somewhere along the line, they can be plus, like right here. They're on the plus side of it. You're following the yellow signal. So when the yellow signal is below the purple line, or you're following the blue line, right? No, the blue line you're following. So I wonder if we can fix that, make that thickerish. Which one is the blue line? Outputs. Okay, there it is. There we go. Let's go like that. There we are. So it goes minus for a little bit there, and then once it goes through the blue line again, it's a long, right? Okay. And it matches up pretty well with this right there. Matter of fact, this is again ahead, which is interesting. It's almost like you don't even need to use these lines, and then use the histogram like the way we use the histogram on our Chicago quant. Like that. And in this case here, it's irrelevant that they're plus or minus. Right, right. I get it. That's pretty cool. That's why we have it up on there now on the J4X. Because I think the combined together. Because I have a friend that likes to use MACD, and I'm not that excited about it. And but if you know what, the histogram, in many ways, we probably, if we made these two lines, the signal lines, invisible, and got rid of the CCI and moved the MACD up, it could emulate our histogram on some aspect. Let's see, MACD value now is 1, minus 1, 2. There's two patterns. One pattern bottom from MACD, and then going up another pattern is MACD lines and MACD signals going above 0. That's another, it's like a third signal. I get it. So you got the histogram on MACD, and then you have the actual signal lines. You follow the blue line, and then if the blue line goes through the 0 line of the MACD, then that's a third signal. I get it. That makes sense. That makes plenty of sense. That's cool. All right. All right. George, everything worked out fine with the Russell? And Daniel, we're doing this stuff, which is good stuff, you know. All right. Where do we go from here? Anybody want to see anything particular? If not, we'll go check out cable. I want to show you his cable. It's really surprising me a little bit is we're seeing that strength. We are on the weekly sell, but this thing is threatening to get into a daily buy. Where is it at? There it is, right there. It's through the buy numbers at the moment. I tell you, you can't count that product out. You just can't. Next week they may go after the weekly buy again. You know, we really are. And this is like a big A, B, and a C. You know, this is like the classic correction of Arn Elliott. I don't look at the histogram. No signals from histogram. Okay, I only look at the MACD line in regards to its position of the histogram. Exactly, the 0 line. Exactly. Okay, that's cool because they're both set as a scale. They're both scaled together. Japanese index Nikkei starts going bullish. Boy, I'll tell you, they really sat down on the Asian market, didn't they? Wonder if we can get that up there. Let's take a look at it. I mean, they're back in the correction territory again in China. Well, look at the government. I mean, they're not very congenial to business. It's their way or the highway. It seems like. Let's see. Let's see if we can find the Nikkei here. That must be the Hang Seng, isn't it? The H8K. Let's take a look at the Hang Seng. I'm almost sure that's the it's the Hong Kong index. Whoa, what happened there? Something doesn't look right. What in blazes is that all about? Something's wrong there. Where's the index? What is that? I guess if we hit a refresh. Let's see. Let's do this. Let's get into another product real quick, like soybeans, just to see what happens there. Whoa, that's not right either. Where's our dailies? Let's go to the currencies. Oh, I have something to say about Turkish lira too. Whoa, what happened there? Did I blow up the charts somehow or another? What did I do wrong? Let me go like that. Reloading. I did something wrong, didn't I? Where's our charts at? So we have... I'm not even sure what we have here. What do we have? We have our indicator. Where's the charts at? Minimize the Stoke. Okay, minimize. How do I minimize that? Ah. No? How do I minimize it? How do I did the refresh, but it's only doing that. How do I minimize this? Let's see. Edit indicator. Remove indicator. Restore default. I don't know. Which one do we do here? Top right corner, click on the icon. Top right corner, click on the icon. Which one is that? Top right corner. I don't see it. Um, cancel. Let's see. All right. What is that? No. Aha, that's got that. All right. Oh, okay. So now I've got them on two different charts. That's not good. And that's not good either. All right. Let's see. How do I get? I want to get back to our original setting. If I close J4X right now, will it? And I reopen it since I didn't save this. Did I accidentally save it? It shows up close to the to more. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. Hey, Testo. You see, top right corner. Click on icon. What icon? Let's see. Let me see if I can find that icon. Why don't I see that icon? Where's that cute little line thing? Widgets. Why am I not seeing that? How about settings? No. View. What's going on in view? If I close this, will it save it this way? If you close it and reopen it, it's auto-saved. Okay, good. That's what I was hoping for. Let's try that. Do you want to really want to quit? Yes. Okay, now let's reopen it. I can usually maneuver my way around in J4X. I'm a little surprised I got trapped in there. I guess I have too many things going in too many ways. In other words, I'm trying to scale MACD in there with the two different or three different CCI, slow and fast stochastic, and then there we go. But anyway, there's the cable up top there. You can see that, and then we'll be back to that in a few seconds here. Let's get that Dukascopy J4X back up again. Initializing. There we go. No, that didn't do it. That didn't happen. Let's see, yes, that too, Max. Let's see, Maxine. It says, Maxine, hey, Maxine. I have something to tell you about Turkish lira. Let's see. I'm trying to get once we get our charts straightened out, I'll tell you what it is. Let's see. You double click on the chart, we'll do it. Okay. It doesn't seem to want to do that either. Where did I go wrong? How about here? Okay, there it is. So it double clicked and it did it. Excellent. All right, now we're back to that. Let me tell Maxine about she's following Turkish lira. Let me show you something on Turkish lira. I want to show you, and this is a good example. This is something we're all going to watch for now. Looks like we're moving into the buy, right? So here is a perfect example of the math. It took it on the chin hard. I mean, we were in a daily sell and a weekly sell, and then the political news came out, and that occurred. See this distance here? We get back into the weekly buy. You can extrapolate the distance from here. You extrapolate the loss, the value of the loss. In other words, calculate the loss. So basically, the loss is from here to it went into the daily buy. Okay, so basically to here. Whoop. Let's get rid of that. Now what we're going to start watching for every day, just like we did, the weekly buys for 54 weeks or 55 weeks or whatever it was. We're going to start watching this because what's going to happen is the math historically has straightened it out. So when we get into a weekly buy, on this thing, it's going to travel that distance. So in other words, it's going to travel from, what is that? That's 7. Basically, that's like 7 point. We're going to call it 7.2. We're going to round it out, okay? Because these numbers are pretty big. So 7.2. We're going to put this on a chart and keep it up there. 7.2. And then that's basically, what is that? That is 8. Let's call it 805. All right. 805. This is something for us to watch. The odds of this happening are enormously big, and I thought this was going to roll back over again with the way it was flirting with the sells, and and join in because it was in a weekly sell. Now that it's trying to get into a daily buy, that's going to confirm the loss altogether. Okay, I mean obviously the P&L confirms the loss. That's the main one. So you're looking at a move of what is that? That's 85 points. So this thing's probably going to go after. We're gonna put a line up there even. We're probably looking at let's see. So 85 points to there is 890. Let's bring this down a little bit. 890. We're probably going to see it when this thing gets back into a weekly buy. We're going to see at least the 890. This product's going to go higher. That's what the matter of fact, we're going to make that like a yellow line, like a warning. Maxine, you're hearing that? Hey, T-Set, thank you. Yeah, double click. That was great. Do you understand what I'm saying there, Maxine? Let's see. Daniel says crude might go bullish because of that Suez Canal crisis. Yeah, I thought it was kind of odd that they sold it down yesterday. I didn't understand that. Also, TA finally looks bullish for crude. TA finally looks bullish on stochastics. Okay. What's TA? Technical analysis. See that? Didn't take long for me to catch that one up. Yeah, so Maxine, this is a real warning here now. Now we're in a real warning. Whatever, this explosion is going to get a second leg, especially now that we're in a buy. It's going to go at least to that distance now on a daily buy. And if we can climb into a weekly buy by next week and we're right around in this area, it could even be higher. But don't be surprised if we find ourselves breaking all-time highs, I guess you'd call it. I've seen this happen too many times over the last 40 years. 40 years I've seen this do it. I saw it do it in Marvel. I saw it do it in Enron. I saw it doing in what else did I? Marvel Comics. Where it was flying, doing great. Then they started losing money back in the late 80s, early 90s. The stock collapsed. I've seen it happen 2 or 3 other times. I've seen it happen. I think I've done this once with an example here at Dukascopy even. We saw it happen. Where we were following a currency. I know what it was. Yes. I'm going to go throw it up on J4X. It was the Swiss franc. It was a Swiss franc when they disconnected the Swiss from the euro. It did it on that too. Let's see if we can go back and look at that move right there. We're going to go back to a monthly because I don't think. Oh, let's try a weekly. It might be more visible. It did it here. I remember seeing the collapse, and I think we might have been in a weekly buy at the time. So what was that? That was like. Right there. There it is right there. So what date was that? That was January. Was that 2015? Go like that. So it collapsed. I think we might have been in a buy. I don't remember. We might have been in a weekly sell. It's hard to say, but either way, it did it there, and I remember saying, the loss started from like here, and it went up and it collected the loss. The math picked it up and brought us back. We went into a weekly buy like the following week. I remember we only lasted one. Matter of fact, I think we lasted like 3 days with that crush, and then we went up and we took it out again. I remember being very bullish down in here, telling everybody you can buy it now, and so that's going to happen, Maxine. See, Maxine says, oh wait a minute. Daniel said there's a technical analysis. Yeah, okay. Crude oil futures are up 3.3 today. Yeah, they have their own beta. That crude oil's beta is incredible. I mean, it's nothing for that product to be up 5% in a day or 6%, and it almost means nothing. I mean, it's really weird. I mean, you watch a product go up 5% normally with a low beta, and it means something, and it follows through for a while. That product, it could be up 5%, and the next thing you know, the next day it could be down 3%. You know, it's just normal for that. Now here's Maxine. Now, I did shorted at 754 of 19 lots and closed out at 724. Nice, very nice. This thing's going higher, I think. I've seen it do it with the math before. It was in a weekly sell, and I can double check it over the weekend and see if I can do some of the old hand calculations to confirm how much of damage it was, and I'll put that on the. I'm going to put it on this chart. I'm going to go over to the Chicago Quant side, and we'll put it on here. Those numbers will go on the chart that you're following. And then I'll put the hand calculations in. So we'll put those numbers. Matter of fact, I'm going to do that right now. I'm just going to copy them since they're there. Let's see. So we go double click that, copy. And then what I'll do is I'll do a much more in-depth look on that. Let's see, paste. Oh no, I go like that. No, that like that. Go like that. And paste. And then let's do the other one too. But it hit me yesterday when it started closing the buy. I thought to myself, oh no, I thought for sure it was going to just roll over again. It was going to go back on its rhythm, you know. And sure enough, it's showing life now. So so the only thing I can interpret out of all that, not that, is that it's probably going to make that loss up. I've seen it so many times before in small stocks and in currencies. I've seen it do it in futures. So we're going to keep a track on that. And I'm going to do my old-fashioned math and confirm that. I'll give you an exact number when I get that too at the same time, Max. Let's see. It looks nice for a buy. Oh, CAD yen. Let's check it out. Let's see. CAD yen. Let's go. Let's see. Let me close this. File, save, workspace, and then file, close. Okay, so that's gone now. Now let's go to CAD yen. CAD yen. Have we been following CAD yen? I always like doing new ones. Oh my goodness, what a gift on a Friday. I like that. CAD yen. I don't think we have a CAD yen on there, so we got to have a CAD yen. Let's see. So do we have anything that's a CAD? I don't think we have anything leading off as a CAD. No, none at all. All right, so let's do this. Let's see, yen. We'll do the New Zealand yen. I guess that's what we've been looking at is New Zealand yen. Let's do that. Let's put that in there. Let's see, CAD yen. Let's see. Right there. So we'll go with CAD. CAD. There it is right there. Okay, cool. So obviously we have looked at this one before. CAD. There you go. Okay. Well, this thing's been in a weekly buy forever. Look at that. It's been in a weekly buy since, that's the old one from the NAS, but it's been in a buy from here. Now let's see what this is doing. This is just using the gas 3 out of us. This is not using the super. Okay. See, it's plot 1 and plot 4, and see, plot 6 is invisible. So you're not. Shall we turn that on just for the fun of it to see what it's doing? Yeah, let's do this. Let's make that. What can we make that? Like that? There we go. There we are. All right. So, is that a little too complicated? But this, I guess, we decided the beta in the New Zealand yen fit the 3. Let me just turn that off for a second because that could become a little too complicated. We can go back and look at it. And so it's been in a buy since here, back in November, that 27th. And let's see how the dailies have been. That was a nice buy. Where's the green dots? Let's try that. Let's see. Scale. Screen. There we are. All right. Now, so there's your buy there. That was a winner chicken dinner. Another winner chicken dinner. Nice product. You're right. There's another one right there. It's been in a buy forever. It just keeps on making money on the buys. And now you're right. Look at that. It's trying to go into a buy again. When's the last time it had a loss out of our math? Buy there. Made money there. There you go. There's your loss. There's the first loss right there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 and 1 or 6 and 1. And then it had to win there. And it had to win there. That's 9 and 1. And then let's see. Let's scroll over. 9 and 1. I guess we can put that right there. 10 and 1. 11 and 1. We can get rid of that. 12 and 1. No, there's a loss. So it's 12 and 2. 13 and 2. You're right. That's a very interesting product. It's a very good one. We can't see the quant. Oh, I'm sorry. Smack me silly and call me Sally. All right, there we are. So, yeah, so we've been in a buy since here. Let's scrunch that up for you. Like that. And so, since it went into the weekly buy, 1 win. That's not there. Let's get rid of that altogether. 2 wins. 3 wins. I think that's the loss. 3 and 1. 4 and 1. 5 and 1. 6 and 1. 7 and 1. 8 and 1. And we're going on 9 and 1 right there. Interesting. Looks nice for a buy. Yeah, definitely. All right. What else we got brewing here? I guess that's about it, traders. It's Friday, TGIF. We will be seeing you all on TGIM. Thank goodness it's Monday. So this is Doc from North America saying arrivederci and happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to our cyber trading friends. Ta-ta for now.